years.
Yep. Hey, Daddy.
Yeah.
This Trump economy is so good that I hired 2 of my blind friends to help you remember shit.
Really?
I done outsourced it.
Man, it was bad today. I wonder if I'm just sleepy or what the deal is.
Well, it was a bit dizzying from going out with 3 chuecos and having 3 designated drunks instead of 1.
Nah, you guys aren't chuecos.
Huh?
You guys aren't chuecos. You're...
What was that? Wait, what?
I said you guys are not chuecos. You're just beautiful people. See, we were smart.
Yep.
We got it all done.
Yeah, what time is it?
10:03.
Oh,
In
shit.
Houston, San Francisco, Chicago, and Newark. United flights already in the air are not affected. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 81 points today. This is NPR. Today marks the 60th anniversary of the Federal Voting Rights Act of 1965. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the landmark legislation after a hard-fought campaign by civil rights activists. Now, a Georgia Democrat in Congress is leading the push to renew the legislation. Sam Greenglass from member station WABE reports from Atlanta.
The late Georgia Congressman John Lewis was 25 when he helped lead a march for voting rights from Selma destined for Montgomery in the spring of 1965. On what's known as Bloody Sunday, the marchers, including Lewis, were violently attacked by state troopers. The event and persistence of the activists helped compel President Johnson to act. But Democrats like Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock say that legacy is under threat and are pushing for a bill to reauthorize the Voting Rights Act.
Nothing is more important right now than passing the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act.
Once bipartisan, Republicans have opposed reauthorizing the law in recent years, saying its requirements are no longer needed. For NPR News, I'm Sam Greenglass in Atlanta.
McDonald's says business in the U.S. has rebounded, helped by special deals and a boost in visits from higher income customers. The fast food giant says its sales grew 2.5% in the latest quarter, with global sales rising for the first time in more than a year. The company credits recent promotions like the return of the crispy chicken strips and meals tied to a Minecraft movie. This is NPR News.
Where?
I don't know.
Support for
Fast food
NPR
place?
comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include
McDonald's.
American Jewish World
Oh.
Service, committed to the fight for human rights, supporting advocates and grassroots organizations worldwide working towards democracy, equity, and justice at ajws.org.
Joe?
Yeah.
This is The World.
Three
I'm Marco
Waters.
Werman.
And I'm Carolyn Beeler. Thanks for being with us this August 6th.
A solemn anniversary marking 80 years since the U.S. dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan, hastening the end of World War II. The bomb killed 140,000 people immediately, with thousands more yet to die of injuries or illnesses caused by radiation.
In a ceremony today, the mayor of Hiroshima, Kazumi Matsui, spoke of a memory that is still visceral in his city.
核抑止力に依存する犠牲者の政策転換を促すことになります。
Matsui implored policymakers to stop fomenting international conflict across the globe, to stop disregarding lessons from history.
The bombings of Hiroshima and 3 days later Nagasaki were the last gasp of World War II. Hitler had already been defeated, but Japan and its forces were not surrendering and paying the price in military and civilian lives. The U.S. was also losing troops.
Air, underground, and fortified caves and holes are some of Okinawa's last defenders.
This newsreel described the bloody Battle of Okinawa in the spring of 1945.
The Yanks have fought inch by inch to conquer this 60-mile-long island. Now the end is in sight.
But the end of the war was not yet really in sight. A firebombing campaign of major Japanese cities was still to come. President Harry Truman described the damage on June 1st, 1945.
Substantial portions of Japan's key industrial centers have been leveled to the ground in a series of record incendiary raids. What has already happened to Tokyo will happen to every Japanese city whose industries feed the Japanese war machine.
Truman promised destruction, but he did not mention an atomic bomb.
That historic weapon was top secret even up to a week before the U.S. dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. 80 years ago today, Truman went on air and gave the news.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy.
A matter-of-fact announcement followed by this explanation.
It is an atomic bomb. It is a harnessing of the basic power of the universe. The force from which the sun draws its power has been loosed.
The power has been loosed, and that power has framed our global conversations about nuclear warfare for 8 decades.
Ever since the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan's government has supported nuclear nonproliferation and disarmament. But Tokyo says the country also depends on nuclear deterrence, a protection that the United States provides to Japan. We asked Masako Toki to explain the tension around this topic inside Japan today. She's with the James Martin Center for Nonproliferation Studies at the Middlebury Institute in Monterey, California.
When I was a high school student, I had opportunity to visit Nagasaki, and that's my first time that learn about the actual impact of the nuclear weapons use. So generally speaking, many Japanese school children have opportunity to visit atomic bombing museum both in Hiroshima and in Nagasaki. Especially schools in Hiroshima and Nagasaki are very active in nuclear disarmament education. So there are strong disarmament advocacy, and it's not just nuclear disarmament policy, but it's a deeply embedded Japanese culture.
So there is a lot of education about the history of what nuclear weapons have done to Japan. How much exactly does that legacy shape Japan's current policy on nuclear weapons?
I must say that the experience of Hiroshima and Nagasaki has been always the basis of Japan's peace policy and nuclear disarmament policy, and also Japan's foreign policy. So Japan has 3 non-nuclear principles, which is Japan shall not possess nuclear weapons, Japan shall not manufacture nuclear weapons, and Japan shall not allow nuclear weapons on Japanese territory. And in addition to that, Japan is a strong member of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty as a non-nuclear weapon state, so Japan will not possess nuclear weapons. And I must say the most important aspect of Japan's defense policy, foreign policy, is U.S.-Japan Security Alliance. So Japan remains under the nuclear umbrella, so-called nuclear umbrella. So Japan is not going to develop its independent nuclear weapons.
How has that position evolved over the past 80 years? I imagine there has been some change in thought on this.
Oh yes, of course. So while the basis has remained the same, given the volatile security environment, some people are opposing these 3 non-nuclear principles.
Opposing, you said?
Opposing.
What are they suggesting should be the path forward? I mean, are they suggesting that Japan should have nuclear weapons or start thinking about having nuclear weapons?
No, there might be a small group of people who support Japan's going its own nuclear weapons. With that said, like NATO countries, some people are advocating maybe Japan should host U.S. nuclear weapons on its soil. But I still really want to be very careful to say that the majority of Japanese public is really supporting Japan's disarmament policy. Almost 70% of Japanese public is supporting